I want to hold you to your thoughts because I have a graphic and I want to come to Justice Sanjib Banerjee now. Source government in Lok Sabha 2026. From 2016 to 2025, the number of complaints have gone up. Just look at how the complaints have gone up significantly. The figure is slowly but surely climbing, and we are now reaching a stage where this is a serious concern. Should this not be seen as a serious concern as well, Justice Banerjee? When I look at complaints against sitting judges, now up to 1102 from 682 in 2017. Should I, Justice Banerjee, not be worried? And if the students are told about it, are we saying that these 14-year-olds are so infantile that they will suddenly think that the entire judiciary is corrupt?
No, Rajiv, there are two answers. One is that, is there corruption in the judiciary? There certainly is. Are these figures anything to go by? They are nothing at all. However, why has the judiciary been singled out for corruption? Is there no corruption amongst politicians, in the executive, in the bureaucracy? Why has the judiciary been singled out? This is the judiciary being asked to fall in line or whatever else may be coming.
No. I mean, just to say that, why don't you mention executive corruption? Why don't you mention bureaucratic corruption? Or dare I say journalistic corruption? I mean, that's whataboutery, Justice Banerjee. What about other corruption? They've mentioned judicial in this context. They've also spoken of judicial delays. I come back to it. Is it such an affront to our judges to talk about judicial corruption?
It may not be. It may not be. There's no proper mechanism to deal with corruption within the system. Yet, the judiciary is such a special body that it needs to deal with corruption in-house, and it can't be opened out, so to say. Every failed litigant will have a complaint, but for every 10 complaints or 20 complaints, maybe 1 or 2 are worthy of being pursued. I know from my experience of nearly 18 years, we've removed several judges in the lower judiciary. However, when it comes to the High Court, and I can speak only up to the High Court because that's my level, nothing's been done. Complaints have been made by Chief Justices, 2 Chief Justices of India, and they have been brushed aside or they have not been taken notice of. And there are several cases.
No, but what's
like
wrong?
This.
That's precisely it. With due regard, Justice Banerjee, that's precisely it. If this chapter triggers a debate on judicial corruption among the young, what's the harm? What's the harm if in school I read about it? I'm doing a political science paper. I want to be abreast with contemporary issues.
You talk about corruption in society, corruption in among the politicians. I think the incidence of corruption is much lower in the judiciary. But you don't talk about that. You talk about, and in what context? In the context that cases are piling up. Cases are piling up because there are not enough judges, there's not enough infrastructure, and no political dispensation wants a strong judiciary. They want the judiciary to conform. And look what's happening. There's no media which is worth its name now. Otherwise, people who are heading media channels won't have private blogs to air their private opinions, because you do not have probably the independence or authority to air what you want to say in your channel, that some people have to open up private blogs.
I speak out my mind, but I'm taking, sir, it's not media. Sir, it's not media versus judiciary. I want to make it clear. It's not media versus judiciary here.
It's a concerted attempt to put the judiciary down and attack the judiciary. Several institutions have been attacked and have been taken over. The Election Commission, no less. Even a body like the Reserve Bank of India is infiltrated with people who have no place to be on the board of that institution. And so the judiciary is also, it's a stumbling block.
Those are very, very strong words again. Okay, I take your point.